Semantic Error is a 2022 enemies to lovers K-drama based on a popular webtoon of the same name. One of the countless reasons this web series is good is the attention to detail in fashion and design, and the way they are used to tell the story. Each character has a distinct visual style that reveals a lot about their personality. Let's take a look at all the main characters and discuss costume design, color schemes, brands, and character arcs. Jae-young, played by Park So-ham, is one of our protagonists. This character is majoring in visual design and dresses accordingly. He is creative and artsy and wears a lot of clothes that look like DIY projects. Jae-young makes decisions based on his feelings and expresses himself through fashion more than any other character on this show. As a skater boy, he mostly wears brands like Fila, Vans, Adidas Originals, and Carhartt, and a lot of smaller Korean streetwear brands. For example, Stigma, Sago, and Greemy. His style is loosely based on the webtoon outfits, but it is much more thought out in detail in the K-drama. In the beginning of this story, Jae-young mostly wears blue, teal, white, and black colors, paired with a lot of denim. His color scheme is cool-toned, with a lot of fun and bold details. After the fateful meet-cute, Jae-young decides to dedicate his life to annoying Sang-woo. He signs up for every class his new enemy takes and even moves in next door. Because Sang-woo's least favorite color is red, Jae-young starts wearing every red item he can get his hands on. With a beanie he borrows from his bestie, he's ready to wear red from head to toe, including this tote bag and red Vans. He even has a little red earring and uses a can of Coke as a prop just to make a point. I'm also pretty sure that these are pajama pants, but they are red and that's the only thing that matters. The efforts pay off because Sang-woo is super annoyed. Red outfits are a plot point from the webtoon, and this is how the character is dressed in the source material. Jae-young slowly gets to know his enemy better, and as time goes on, he wears less red and dresses in a less obnoxious manner. He still looks like the villain, but now red is used only as an accent color, and paired with black and camouflage pattern. He's probably running out of red clothes, or maybe getting bored of it. He subconsciously expresses his feelings through clothes before he realizes what he feels, throughout the series. He's now starting to question his own motives and what it is that he's trying to achieve. After a bar fight, the main characters end up in Sang-woo's apartment, and Jae-young takes off a red jacket as the two get closer. In the last villain era outfit, there are only few red details left. He decides to change his whole approach to their relationship and picks a new, more mature aesthetic. Jae-young starts dressing like the main love interest and openly flirts with his crush. His new look is more minimalist. No more prints or bold colors. Now he wears black, grey, and white, paired with simple denim. He wears several different leather jackets and swaps his shoes to black Vans and leather boots. In the webtoon he wears a suit, but the K-drama adaptation opted for trendier clothes that match the rest of the character's wardrobe much better. As a bonus, we see these outfits for their French class presentation. Jae-young insists on doing it in costumes because he's a theater kid who is always looking for an excuse to wear a fun outfit. In an intimate moment, Sang-woo panics and runs away because he is not as confident in his sexuality as Jae-young. He wants to be left alone, and Jae-young goes back to his old DIY denim skater boy look. He wears teal and light blue again while he's looking for a distraction. While he's thinking of whether to give Sang-woo another chance, he's already dressed like an adult again. When they start working on the game, Jae-young wears colors that are more similar to Sang-woo's wardrobe, with a lot of navy blue, black, and grey. We even see him wear the exact same clothes that he wore in his red era, just in black. He also pairs a hoodie and sweatpants with a beige trench coat. He still wears fun patterns and big bold prints, but now the colors are more neutral, like this leopard cardigan. Jae-young invites Sang-woo to a restaurant he works in when it is closed, and wears his work uniform because he knows he looks dashing in it and it seems like an organic occasion to wear it. He's dressed in all black while waiting for Sang-woo's answer, and wears a leather jacket again when he's confident that his crush will say yes. In the final scene, we see the two cuddle on the couch. They are slowly morphing into a beige-toned couple who wear matching outfits. Their clothes and their hairstyles look very similar to each other's now. He changes from bold and chaotic to more calm and mature with a lot of back and forth, which demonstrates his character arc pretty well. Sang-woo, who is played by Jae Chan, is the polar opposite of Jae-hyuk. He is pragmatic, introverted, and analytical. He has a routine he doesn't like deviating from, and like a true computer engineering major, he makes all his decisions based on logic and data. He starts off wearing minimalist clothes with simple cuts. He mostly wears navy blue, black, grey, and white, paired with dark jeans. Sang-woo's outfits are practical and comfy. He always wears a black cap, black and white sneakers, and a simple backpack, and doesn't like any prints on his clothes. He doesn't like visible logos either. The only one we can see is an occasional Carhartt label. One of the staples in his style are plaid shirts, which Jae-young jokingly calls the uniform of his university department. Every guy in his class is dressed like this, and Sang-woo blends in with the crowd perfectly. He dresses quite well for someone who doesn't care about fashion and has a poor taste in graphic design. Sang-woo's outfits in the webtoon are very similar to the adaptation, and they did not have to change that much. In the beginning of the show, his clothes are mostly dark blue and black. When he lets his frenemy into his apartment, Jae-young asks him why he wears the cap all the time and compliments his looks. After that, both of them change how they dress. When Jae-young stops wearing red and adopts a new tactic, their color schemes flip. Sang-woo, clearly waiting for his classmate, wears a wine red shirt, which is a color he did not wear before. This is also when he reluctantly removes the physical and metaphorical barrier. After that, Sang-woo stops wearing the hat because Jae-young likes the look, and he wears more light and colorful clothes. His style changes are more subtle and less dramatic than Jae-young's, which matches Sang-woo's character. Sang-woo hates the idea of wearing a costume and a wig to class. He does not want to stand out. The only way Jae-young can convince him is with the logical argument that this will help them get a good grade for this class. The two almost kiss, and Sang-woo freaks out and skips uni to dramatically lay on the floor. He's overwhelmed and puts the hat back on to tell Jae-young to stop bothering him, and visually draws the line. Even though he rejects his crush, his clothes tell a different story. He goes back and forth with wearing and not wearing the hat. He can't decide if he wants to hang out with Jae-young. He is spaced out and even wears his sweatshirt inside out. Sang-woo also wears lighter colors again as he looks for an excuse to see each other. There's more blue, mint green, and light grey as they get closer. After Jae-young suggests dating, Sang-woo wears a red shirt, which symbolizes that he wants to reject the offer. In an iconic scene at home when he is asking himself what to do, he turns around and the camera reveals yes and a thumbs up graphic on his sweatshirt. Sang-woo wears green on his way to give his final answer, only to find out that Jae-young got a job offer in France. He has to reject his crush again and wears a lot of blue and grey until they finally get together. In the last scene, he wears a white knit sweater and has a new hairstyle, which was probably his boyfriend's idea. If we look at an overview of all the colors he wears in the TV show, we see a subtle change. He went from darker to lighter and more vivid colors as he became more open and friendly to people around him. Yuna, Jae-young's bisexual bestie, whose outfits I briefly touched on in another video, is the epitome of a cool girl. She also studies in the design department and dresses in a fun and creative way. Yuna wears a lot of crop tops, usually paired with wide-leg cargo pants, fishnet tights, and a graphic belt from No Fear, an American skater brand. She has a lot of piercings and purple streaks in her hair, wears beanies and a bucket hat. There's a lot of electric blue and black in her wardrobe. She wears cool geometric and trippy patterns, tie-dye and plaid. One of the staples in her wardrobe are these black pants with a subtle psychedelic print that she often pairs with a different pattern. She also has several Leo print items like this cropped fur coat with ears and a backpack from the Korean brand Night Love Salt. The detail I really like is how Yuna progressively wears comfier and more oversized clothes as the semester goes on. When the exams get closer, she wears more hoodies and sweatpants and less elaborate outfits. Jie studies computer engineering and has a crush on Sang-woo. She's the cheerful girl next door archetype, who dresses in a modest and casually preppy style. Her color scheme is light and neutral, with a lot of brown, cream, blue, and green. She loves a good argyle print. The staples of her wardrobe are straight-leg jeans, sweater vests, knitwear, a brown leatherback, and sneakers. Her outfits are cute and practical. She starts out with shirts and jeans that would look great in an office job, and gets more casual as the semester nears the end, wearing sweatpants and hoodie before the exams. Hyungtaek, another visual design major, has a really good sense for color combinations. He knows exactly what his aesthetic is and sticks to a green and orange color scheme, paired with yellow, gray, and white, which matches his hair color. He doesn't appear that much in the series, but still has a distinct and recognizable style. He barely appears in the webtoon, but I think he might be based on this background character. Everyone in Semantic Error wears clothes that they actually can afford. There is no poor girl wearing a new designer coat in every scene nonsense that we usually see in K-dramas. Part of the reason is probably because Semantic Error has a lower budget than typical full-length 16-episode TV shows, but I think it works in the show's favor that none of them wear high-end luxury brands. These characters repeat outfits quite often and borrow each other's clothes. This is a realistic portrayal of university students in their early 20s. I also want to talk about the use of art in this K-drama. Jaeyoung's designs that we see in the game and on the posters in the office were made by a real graphic designer. I really recommend checking out their Instagram account because the art is really cool. The game design is referencing the original art from the webtoon, but the 3D version takes it to the next level. This is probably my favorite thing about this Semantic Error adaptation. They made sure that the art actually looks good. There are so many movies and TV shows about artists that don't bother finding good art for the set design, even when they have a really big budget. The caricature of Sang-woo that Jaeyoung draws in the first episode and distributes all over campus is also based on a panel from the webtoon and looks pretty similar to the original, just colored in to look better on screen. Later, Jaeyoung draws a different portrait of Sang-woo, which looks similar to the webtoon art style itself. I really like all the nods to the source material and how it was translated into a live-action K-drama. We also see a poster of the Quickest guy on campus. Later on, after Jaeyoung and Sang-woo get into a bar fight with him, the poster is defaced. I wonder who did it. Is there a vengeful character in this show that has a track record of drawing on people's faces? Showing this poster was not necessary to the plot, but they still added this detail. I did not notice this myself on the first watch, but I saw a great post on Instagram that pointed out that Jaeyoung and Sang-woo probably moved in together by the end of last episode. Several items like the lamp and the blanket that are previously seen in Jaeyoung's apartment are now side by side with Sang-woo's furniture. I linked this Instagram post in the description so you can check it out yourself and look at all the details. And while we're on the topic of informative Instagram posts, I would also recommend checking out the account of An Kyom-so, who was the cinematographer for Semantic Error. There is a series of interesting posts with visual references that were used for this K-drama. If you made it this far into this video, I think you are the type of person who would appreciate it. Semantic Error was clearly made with love. This is a great example of how to adapt a piece of media into live action the right way. They understood exactly what is good about the source material and doubled down on these aspects, and removed all the unnecessary plotlines that don't suit the TV format.